G'day, I'm Woz.
And I'm Nick, sometimes Coxie, mostly Nick.
This is the Tradies in Business podcast, and we're here to share a bunch of tips, ideas, tactics that you can put in place to get change happening in your trade business right now.
If you're really lucky, we're going to entertain you with a few mum jokes, and more importantly, a bunch of fantastic guests that will educate you in all things you need to know about trade business. But we do promise to do it with a whole bunch of fun along the way.
I'm a self-confessed idiot, so strap yourself in and enjoy another episode.
Welcome, listeners. Sorry.
Welcome, sorry.
So it would appear on this version of the podcast, we're still going to talk over one another.
Some things just need to be clung to doggedly, Nicole, because they just work.
I kind of feel like this should be a suggestion something podcast rather than Throwback Thursday.
Ooh, changing the title already.
I know.
I'm sticking to the plan.
I don't know. It's just evolving in my head as we sit here and talk.
Well, considering we made up the plan about 3 minutes ago, I don't mind that you're changing it already, Nicole. Hello, listeners. This is presently an unnamed episode, and I'm being murdered by the internet lag today because it means every time I open my mouth to speak, I talk all over Nicole. So I'm really sorry.
No, that's okay, because every time I talk, I'm talking over you too, because it looks like you're finished and then you keep going. I should expect that. I
know. I love a bit of modern technology. So whatever this episode ends up being called, whether it's Throwback Thursday or Tidbits Thursday or Quickie Thursday.
Either way.
You don't mind tidbits or quickies?
No, they're both fine. You're leading me up a path I don't want to walk down.
It's all you, Nicole. So what we're going to do is start summarising some of our back catalogue predominantly, or gosh, gee darn, we might even summarise someone else's episode that we listened to on a podcast about Bitcoin. Never going to happen, I'll tell you that now. But we're just going to bring you some little snacks on a Thursday.
We thought you might be hungry. Tuesday's too long, so we need to give you some trail mix to keep you going.
Some trail snacks. Tradie snacks.
But either way, these are going to be super small. There'll be 5 to 10 minute episodes where we just give you a bit of insight about something that we've got that many episodes now. We're well over 600 episodes. We've answered every question there needs to be answered multiples of times. And we occasionally see a question come back to the forefront. So lots of our community or lots of you out there in tradie land are sharing a frustration or asking the same question. This is our opportunity to redirect you back to something we've done before. There'll always be a little link in the show notes for the episode, so you can go back and find it there. Otherwise, you can just search on whatever platform you are currently on, and we'll give you the title of it, so it makes it nice and easy for you to find. Today, though, we're going to talk about an episode that really relates to something. There was even a media story that was sent to me half a dozen times. I love how so many of our followers want us to be current on what the news is saying about trades. This was sent to me quite a few times by old friends and old clients. And it was a story about how it was done in Sydney with Sydney tradies. There were the current crop of Sydney tradies, and they were complaining bitterly about the young crop of perhaps apprentices coming through and the way they would turn up in the morning and not make it to smoko, or they'd turn up and for a day's work and never come back again because it was just too hard. And so they were talking about, I guess, their frustrations with apprentices. And it's something you and I, Warwick, hear really frequently from our own members and the community as at large. Agree?
100%. I wish I had $1 for every time. So the problem is millennials, apprentices, young people, the younger generation, the next generation coming along behind us, and how impossible it is to work with them, to get them to work, to get them to care. Whinge, moan, rant. It's pretty much the summary of the problem, Nicole.
Yes.
And the solution is not the things that we think they are. The solution to this is not pointing the finger at the younger generation and them pulling their finger out or their head out or whatever. The solution to this problem actually lies with us, the current generation, the older generation, the old dogs, and, well, What's the? I see you can't use the proper language term for male and female dogs because it's just going to get me in trouble, Nicole. So
It is.
anyway,
Stay
the
away
old
from that
dogs,
one, Mark.
the old dogs, is it's with us, and it's with us to be better mentors, to be better business parents, and to recognize that the opportunity lies with us to actually change our behavior and our attitude and use that to influence those younger people coming through and give them a reason to give us stuff about your business, about your clients. Why would they care if you don't care about them? If you're not showing any interest in them, any genuine compassion or empathy for those people that you're employing, if you're not treating them the way that they want to be treated, not the way you think you
Mm,
want them to be treated, if that made any sense. You know, the whole thing about treat others the way you want them to treat you,
yeah.
that doesn't kind of work.
Nice.
You got to treat other people the way they want to be treated.
Yes.
And so that is actually the solution. And we're skipping the 40 minutes of stuff in the middle for these episodes and just going straight from the problem to the solution, or the headline to the punchline. So there you go. It's all with you, listener.
I think this is one of those areas where people need to be a little bit more compassionate. And I know there'll be a lot of you that roll your eyes and think, well, it wasn't like that when I did my apprenticeship. I was going to say back in my day, but you're not all that old. Most of you are 30, if that. Uh, and it is a different time now. And these kids can come and do an apprenticeship because they have at least a vague interest in the specific trade that you might be in. They get here. And let's admit, it's hard work. It's disgustingly dirty. It's hot. It's sweaty. It's freezing, or we're being rained on, in some cases snowed on. It is really physical. It's very challenging to be a tradie. And so I think we forget as employers that these kids could go and earn far more money in much better conditions doing something in an office. And I don't
Mm.
know that we're necessarily putting the two together and understanding that society has created an opportunity for these kids to make a lot of money sitting in their bedrooms at home, doing things that they want to do, rather than coming to work for you. So I encourage you, I implore you to go back and listen to the episode we're about to reference, because it gives you an opportunity to think a little differently about how you can work with them where they're at so that we do have another generation of tradies come through. As a mum of a 19-year-old, I'm going to be really fair and say he was never going to be anything but a tradie, and he has a pretty good employer. But between him and the other apprentice, the two of them, there are two of them that they're in that age bracket at the moment. One's been hospitalized for heat stroke. Now, that employer was not taking care of his apprentice on that day. Our boys had some pretty significant injuries. He wasn't being taken care of or thought of on that day. And not to bag out his employer, I understand what it's like to be that employer. I've done it myself. I've had injuries on site. Things become too busy and too overwhelming, and we want to keep encouraging those kids. That's the point. A long draw I'm making here. We want to encourage those kids to come back, and to do that, we do need to be more invested in what it is that they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and that begins with us as the employer. So while we might be challenging the way you're thinking here today, I really support you going and checking out. Fantastic episode. Warwick's going to give you all the particulars because he's far better at it than I am. But we did a great episode with Cal, big dog Cal, as we call him. He's only a young fella. He'd be 24 now, or very close to 24. I'm pretty sure his birthday was in January, maybe it's February. Cal's a lovely fellow that we've worked hand in hand with. We've had the opportunity to actually work with him. He did some work for us or with us at Tradies in Business, but we've also witnessed some of the work Cal's done with young people. And he has some fantastic insight that has made significant difference to some of the team members that our clients have, because they've taken on board some of what they've learned through Cal and what he does here with his company, Young Guns.
So that's the quick version. If you want to hear the rest of the backstory and actually hear from Cal himself, the man himself, go back to episode 548 of the podcast. It was actually tagged as TIB616 if you're searching, and it was with Cal Robinson from Young Guns, Gunz. You should be able to find it in our back catalogue. As Coxie said, we'll actually put a link in the description to this episode, so you can hopefully just click it and go back and listen to the full chat that we had. with Big Dog Cal, and just find out why a young guy reckons it's not their fault. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy these quick episodes. If there's a particular topic you want us to summarize in 10 minutes or less, maybe we should set that as the target, Coxie, 10 minutes or less. I'll start a timer. Just reach out to us via our socials or the website. And look, if you're ready to make some change in your tradie business, we've got a crash course in running your trade business on our website. It's free. It's worth a shitload of money, but we've stuck it up on the website just to give you an opportunity to dip your toe in the water. It's a couple of hours broken up over 4 different key topics that you should have in place in your tradie business. So you can hit the website, tradiesinbusiness.com.au, and go take the crash course, and you might learn a thing or two. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us.
Hooroo.